Clowns have existed in human culture for centuries, yet their presence has always carried a paradox. They are meant to amuse, to provoke laughter, to soften the rigid rules of society through exaggeration and play. Yet, for many, clowns inspire unease, fear, even terror. This tension between amusement and anxiety reveals something profound about human psychology, social structures, and the ambiguous space clowns occupy between reality and performance. Historically, clowns and tricksters were not merely entertainers. They served sacred, ritualistic, or social functions. In many cultures, these figures challenged authority, inverted norms, and revealed hidden truths under the guise of humor. By exaggerating human behaviors, they acted as mirrors, reflecting both absurdity and truth. In these contexts, clowns were respected, even feared, because their humor had power. It exposed vulnerabilities, questioned hierarchies, and unsettled the comfortable order of society. Fear and respect were intertwined. The modern clown carries traces of this ancestral ambiguity but also new layers. Bright costumes, exaggerated facial features, and unpredictable behavior make clowns visually and psychologically distinct from ordinary humans. This exaggeration magnifies human features to a level that is simultaneously familiar and alien. The oversized smile, the painted eyes, the unnatural movements trigger an uncanny effect. Humans are wired to detect subtle inconsistencies in appearance and behavior, and clowns disrupt these expectations. The brain struggles to categorize what it sees, someone who is both human and not human, and this mismatch often produces discomfort, sometimes intense fear. Media and popular culture amplify this unease. Horror films, novels, and urban legends have transformed clowns from benign entertainers into figures of menace. Characters like Stephen King's Pennywise have cemented the image of the clown as a threat lurking behind exaggerated cheer. Yet this fear does not emerge out of nowhere. It taps into deeper human anxieties, unpredictability, deception, and hidden intentions. Clowns are social actors who intentionally blur boundaries between adult and child, seriousness and absurdity, danger and entertainment. The mind instinctively searches for patterns and cues to assess threat, and clowns resist straightforward categorization. Fear of clowns is also rooted in developmental psychology. Children, particularly, struggle to interpret masks and heavy makeup. Faces convey emotion through subtle cues, micro-expressions, skin tone, eye movement. Clown makeup conceals these signals, replacing them with amplified gestures and expressions that are often ambiguous. A smile may be painted wide, but the eyes can betray sadness or menace. This mismatch creates tension. Even adults retain sensitivity to these cues, explaining why many report discomfort around clowns well into adulthood. Cultural narratives reinforce this fear. Clowns are often depicted as unpredictable, capable of sudden aggression or malevolence. Tales of evil clowns circulating in news media, folklore, or online communities feed collective anxieties. Sociologically, this fear is amplified when clowns appear in spaces outside their expected roles, such as at night, in isolated settings, or in ambiguous contexts. The human brain is especially attuned to anomalies in behavior and context. When clowns violate these expectations, fear escalates. There is also an element of projection. Clowns act as mirrors for social and emotional tensions. The exaggerated, often grotesque features of a clown allow observers to project internal fears onto an external figure. Anxiety, mistrust, unresolved childhood experiences all can find expression in reactions to clowns. This projection makes the fear highly subjective, yet widely recognizable across different cultures and societies. Interestingly, the same mechanisms that trigger fear also explain amusement. Laughter emerges from surprise, exaggeration, and recognition of incongruity. Clowns exploit these cognitive patterns, walking a line between delight and dread. They provoke recognition and uncertainty simultaneously, challenging the mind to reconcile conflicting information. For some, this reconciliation leads to joy. For others, it results in discomfort or fear. The threshold between amusement and anxiety is fluid, influenced by past experiences, cultural conditioning, and personal sensitivity. Society's responses to clowns reflect broader attitudes toward disorder and unpredictability. Clowns embody controlled chaos. They bend rules but remain within a performative structure. Fear arises when the chaos feels unbounded, when boundaries of safety, expectation, or social norms are threatened. In that sense, the clown is a symbol, a cultural object onto which societies project both fascination and anxiety, humor and horror. In the end, the fear of clowns is deeply human. It intersects psychology, culture, and history, blending developmental sensitivity with social and symbolic meaning. Clowns remind us that the familiar can be strange, that humor can mask threat, and that human perception is finely tuned to detect anomalies. They occupy a space between the known and unknown, the safe and the dangerous, laughter and terror. Their power lies precisely in this ambiguity, a dual role as entertainer and disruptor, sacred trickster and frightening presence. Clowns reveal much about society itself, our tolerance for unpredictability, our ability to negotiate humor and fear, and our instinctive response to faces that do not conform to expected patterns. The unease they evoke is a window into human cognition, social norms, and emotional processing. To fear a clown is not irrational, it is a reflection of the brain's vigilance, cultural narratives, and centuries of symbolic meaning compressed into one exaggerated figure. They remain at once entertaining, unsettling, and enduringly compelling.